short skirts, bobbed hair, and a more liberated lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a more liberated lifestyle. Same things that you're seeing today, right? As the scripture says in the book of Romans, that which is then is it's like Ecclesiastes, right? No new thing under the sun, paraphrasing, man, right? So we want to go into this article and then grab some precepts, right? So starting at the top, it says absolutely gigantic dust storms are triggering massive highway pileups in the middle of the country. Virtually the entire Southwest is currently experiencing at least some level of drought. And dust storms and soil erosion are now costing our economy more than $100 billion every year. And we know this is due to the fact that Esau is insatiable, man. If he did something like the land Sabbath, hey, you wouldn't have that problem. And that's the same thing that occurred in the 1930s. They were basically seizing the land, and using that word, right?
Yep.
And not allowing it to rest. See, the Dust Bowl occurred because roots weren't properly fitted within that soil. And the nutrients were sucked out of that soil, so it caused the soil to basically become non-saturated, man.
Yeah, and so when you do that, what it's supposed to do is supposed to take root, and it holds everything down,
Exactly.
and then the dust and dirt don't fly around like that, further smothering and killing other plants.
Right.
And that's what they experienced in the 20s,
Exactly.
in the 30s.
So the Lord ultimately caused, drought and a famine, within the U.S. And same thing we understand is happening and is going to happen today. But this time he's going to allow Esau to engineer it, man.
That's right.
It's not that it's going to be necessarily a lack of food, but it's going to be a lack of access to that food, man.
That's right.
Which creates that engineered famine.
It's both, because the bread basket is flooded. The East is going through the things that they go through, and the West is hurricanes in the Southeast, and in the Northeast is always blizzards and whatnot. Right, but in the South, the Southwest, can't get water. Canada's holding back water, and they're what's that? I forgot that family in California that wouldn't cut the water.
Oh yeah. They own Palm. They own and Palm, a couple other companies.
Pomegranate juice people.
Yep.
Almond people. Blue Diamond. I don't know Blue Diamond, but one of them almond people.
Yep.
All of them, man, they holding back the water. So all this is the Most High putting it on them to do it, because every instrument in the earth is under the Most High's control. So he has people doing things, but because Jake has to get punished. But at the end of the day, he is controlling it. It's going through man, not just through so-called nature.
Yep. I got a quick pre.
Yep.
The second is 15, and I'll start here at 11, and it reads, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." Right? And we're going to get into also, the dream in which Joseph had concerning Egypt, ancient Egypt, of the 7 ears of corn, which went into the dearth or the success of the crops, and then the dearth of 7 years came after that.
Years, and then the famine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before."
And this is one of the plagues of Egypt, man.
Okay.
I mean, we know that the deliverance plagues are different, but it's not that it has to be the exact same plagues. But plagues are gonna hit this place, showing you that this place is going out.
Okay.
The difference is the elect are gonna be like the Israelites in Goshen, versus all the Israelites being covered. Versus the Egyptians not being covered. As far as that went. Now the elect of the Most High, or the Israel of the Most High now, are the ones that are representative of the Israelites that were in Goshen, in ancient Egypt. Okay, because we know that they shall be thirsty, you shall have drink, they shall be hungry, but you will have food. Joy and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's Job, the 20th chapter.
Yep.
Right. It says 12, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua shall bring upon it."
And this is cold-blooded, because when you really think about how these plagues hit, he don't just want to hit you with the missiles and that, and just get you straight to that. He want to torture you a little bit, because you need a long ass whooping, man. Sometimes, like Jake, just quick ass whoopings don't really work for Jake. So Jake needs to be punished a long way, but he's also accomplishing a couple different things. Multiple birds with a single stone.
Okay.
He's also going to take E down in the whole process, and basically break his pride and break you Jake's pride away from this man. Because when he starts getting in adversity, you're going to see that he was never your friend. For all y'all that just love E that much.
It's 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, right? Speaking of the farmers.
Yep.
It says, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail and with a fearful constellation.
Yep, you can speak on that.
Yeah, so meaning what the crops aren't going to not only yield, the quality, but they're also aren't going to yield the quantity. Yep. Meaning that the Lord is going to allow those crops to completely fail, man. Which causes ultimately a clink or a link missing out of the supply chain, man. Yep. Which means your grocery stores won't have the readily available food.
Don't forget, you just got all the migrants kicking all the migrants out.
Yeah, so Jake
that was happily doing them jobs. I don't want to say happily, but they was doing them jobs.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if you've seen that joke Dave Chappelle told. He was like, said Trump just be saying shit, don't even know what we're really gonna do. We're just gonna bring the jobs back from China. Like, nobody want to be making
shoes,
iPhones and shit. I want an iPhone. I don't want to be making them shits. I don't want to work that hard. I want to wear Nikes. I don't want to make them. And that's the American mentality. Jake ain't prepared. Jake, because it's gonna come fall on Jake. It ain't gonna fall on E and his people. It's gonna fall on you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. Yep. To have those type of low service jobs, just to have income coming in. You're gonna have to take the shit job, man.
Okay. So this is back in the article. That was it right there in 2 Corinthians 15. But it says, last month, a series of enormous dust storms caused a tremendous amount of chaos throughout the middle portion of the nation. A series of enormous dust storms swept the plain states last week, triggering massive highway pileups, a spike in emergency room visits, and dirty rain 1,000 miles away. The storms were driven by winds in excess of 70 miles per hour across the vast stretch of dry fields and prairie from New Mexico and western Texas.
Yeah, northern New Mexico to like Albuquerque. I think I saw a video where they showed trucks tipping, like the big rigs and their trailers, 18-wheelers, tipping over, man. Right, jackknifing and all that, causing as I said, pilot said it.
Yeah. Because
this is all from them crazy winds. The wind is enough. But when you have vegetation in certain proper areas and everything's watered the way it should be, now there's certain areas that can't get it, but with all the technology you got, you ain't gonna take care of them areas.
Right.
That just shows you, man, you don't know how to manage the earth properly. Talking about the people that's running the planet now.
It says in Kansas, at least 55 vehicles were involved in one particular highway pileup, and 8 people ended up dying. It says at least 8 people. Okay, we just read that again. Let's see if it's any more. We're going to jump down. Dang, it say the same thing like twice.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. All right.
People died. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, kind.
Wisconsin? As far north? Wisconsin?
Where is it? Oh, yeah. As far as north as Wisconsin, people were being warned to stay inside during the dust storms that suddenly erupted last month.
If you have allergies, it's going to mess you up. It's going to mess up your whole breathing cavity. It could easily cause a pneumonia-like symptoms to happen to you. And
your livestock.
Yep.
They got to endure those conditions as well, man.
It's your livestock, the firstborn of man, of everything. Even the beasts got killed in the ancient plague. So we'll see how this really hits, because we know with these, I was going to say fish kills, but these cattle kills, these shutting that chicken, flus and all this stuff going on with that, with the farms, and then destroying the farms and putting fake crops. So what are the animals going to eat that make the food you eat?
Right.
They eating GMO. So what do you think going to happen to them? Yep.
And I'm going to just jump down to the third to last paragraph. It says, I'll start at the one before. It says, let's just be real honest here.
Yep.
Everything is not going to be okay. And the Southwest just keeps on getting even drier.
Because we the prophets of doom.
Yeah,
Hey, and this is what we prophesy, man. Doom coming to this place. We don't prophesy doom to everything. Just doom to the establishment.
Yeah, the wicked society, man.
That's right. The righteous man gonna push on.
That's right. Now we can get into that Genesis.
Yeah, let's get that. I'll read it this time.
All right,
I got you. Genesis 41.
Yep.
I forgot where it was at. 41. I'll start near the top.
Okay.
It
Yeah. We got straight to time.
We're going to get to the point. I could just go straight to 5.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 5 is pretty good. Yep, it says Genesis 41:5, and he slept and dreamed the second time.
Right, this speaking about Pharaoh.
Yep. Behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good.
Right.
And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And see, that east wind is them dust storms. Right?
Yeah, kind.
Mm-hmm. Could you hit you know?
Yeah, it's Luke 12. Kind. This is Luke 12, and I'm gonna start here at it's a lot. At 50. Yeah, 52. Nah, 50. No, yeah, 54. It's Luke 12 and 54. It says, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. Mm-hmm. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time?
And we're telling you, man, these types of events, we've been calling them out. Why a guy tell me, the guy in Walmart was telling me, like, there's an eclipse tonight. Because Easter's coming. He didn't say Easter, he was saying the Passover. And I was like, you talking about Easter? Right. I was like, so you really like chocolate, but anyway. But I was like, nah, there was already a planet alignment in when I kept it, according to the lunar. I didn't know all that. Yeah, and stop telling me about Mother God or whatever. But so anyway, you can see all these signs happening in the earth. You can't tell that something big has got to happen. Yeah. Like the article said, hey, let's be real. Something bad's about to happen.
Yeah, everything is not okay, man.
Everything is not okay. It's a lot of bad things happening, and the beautiful thing about this, I'm going back to it in Genesis. Okay. The beautiful thing about this dream is they were forewarned, as the prophets are forewarning you with videos like this, and different other prophetic things and signs that we're seeing in the meantime. Matter of fact, could you grab Matthew 24? Yep. 7, 6, maybe.
This is Matthew 24. I'll start here at verse 6. And it reads, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
We hear that in the Middle East and in Ukraine and Russia and all that. In the China and the South China Sea. Yep.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet.
That don't mean it ain't coming. It's going still a long ways away. It's just showing you that this ain't the climax. It's more to it than just that. Go ahead.
It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences,
and keep getting,
and earthquakes in diverse places.
And now, if you know, if dust, hot windstorms, they'd be like, it's earthquake weather. It'll go from that to raining, but it's earthquake weather. Or then these dust can kick up pestilences. Now there's a bug in the air. There's something that came in the air that's got people sick in their lungs, and they can't breathe, and asthma and whatever else. And then we also know we were reading about famines already. All right, read 8.
This is verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Meaning the beginning of bad times. So we're showing you that this is prophetic, that it's beginning of bad times. But if you're not in the spirit, you don't know what to do when these bad times come, you SOL. Yeah. But let me go back to this is why Joseph got exalted in Egypt, because he warned Pharaoh how to get it done. Now it was dope, because what he did for his own family that turned his back, but we see through the spirit how it all worked out beautifully. Yeah, kind. But at the same time, you know, he was able to forewarn and then have some even for his family to be sustained.
Yeah, he needs to be sold off, for him to go through, you know, that trying period, man.
Yep. Then he got exalted. Exactly. Before, what did it say? Before humility, before
honor comes.
Before honor becomes humility.
Yep.
And that's what he went through. It was effed up, but he got it back, and he knew he had a little brother. I mean, it was beautiful when you read the story.
Baby Benjamin.
You know, because he was able to discern the dream. He was empowered as far as his position in Egypt, and his family was able to grow and become an actual large multitude in Egypt because of that move.
Yep. I got that quick brief. Proverbs 15 and 33. Yep. The fear of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility.
Beautiful. Back in Genesis 41, I'm going to read it at verse 7 again. Verse 6, it says, and behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise. Call me now. I don't know. I thought Miss Cleo. Call me now. For y'all that remember that back in the day, Jamaican
Benjamin.
Jake lady out there reading tarot cards, telling you what's going on, giving you a free reading, and all this other stuff. Nah, man, that ain't what our people supposed to be in. We supposed to trust in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and everything we need to tap into that spirit is he has to be dealing with you first off.
Yep.
Give you that gift. It's not just says like that, but then when you read the scriptures, it's supposed to show you how there's no new thing in the earth. He's going to do it before he did it again. This is the prophecies of the end time. Mm-hmm. And you can get a sense of foreseeing the future.
Gone. And on top of that, when it's saying Pharaoh called forth his magicians, yep. Esau is doing that on the left-hand side too.
Right.
And he's not called the Chaldean for no reason, man.
Right.
When we go into the Isaiah the 47th chapter, yep. And it speaks about how all those soothsayers, those magicians, those daily prognosticators, how all those people, how the strength of Egypt shall fail. It's the same, because he has his wise men, on the left-hand side that are trying to predict and bring forth, certain prophecies and things to pass, man.
That's right.
But that's to no avail, because it's ultimately not of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua.
That's right.
Yep.
It says, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof, and Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Yeah,
it's showing you that the left, is not in comparison to the right, man.
That's right.
Because the Lord is going to obviously deal with Joseph, to break down the dreams in which Pharaoh had, man.
Mm-hmm. It said, then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in the ward and the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker.
Mm-hmm.
And we dreamed a dream in one night, and I and he American.
Yeah,
I and he were dreamed, each man according to the interpretation of his dream.
Mm-hmm.
And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant of the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret.
Yeah, because I believe it was the baker and the king's cupbearer,
yep,
that were in prison, with Joseph, man. Right? So that's what he's recalling.
So he's like, this dude know how to break down dreams.
Yeah.
And if you notice, for you Jakes that are in the truth, you kind of have a sense of what these dreams could mean, especially if you know them. Because usually a dream is a real intimate thing to share your dream with somebody. So when you share a dream with somebody, they hear your dream, and then you kind of know a little bit about them in their life, and then you break it down for them. They're like, man, they feel good about it, because they know you've done them a service that comes from somewhere higher. It's a higher power to be able to do that. It's a special gift. So he's like, hey, maybe he can break your dream down.
Right.
I'm gonna jump down to 34.
25 gives 25. the breakdown as well.
Okay, 25. It says, and Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Both dreams is talking about. God hath shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kind are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
The dream is one, right? Because it was 7 good kind, and then it was 7 good ears. It's 2 different dreams, but those are talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Right? And the 7 thin ears and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years. So that's the 14-year period. 7 plenteous and 7
dearth.
Right. It says, blasted. It says, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine.
Ooh.
Okay, so, and we've seen in the prophetic future, we read the precepts talking about in the end times there will be famine.
Yeah.
Okay, and we didn't even get the one in the 15th chapter of talking about famine, about the punishments and famine and all of that.
Yeah.
In second Esdras. We don't have to.
Okay.
But I'm gonna keep reading. It says, this thing, verse 28. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what the Most High is about to do. He showed unto Pharaoh. So this was about. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenteous throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land.
Kind of reminds me of the scripture in Sirach. It says, It says,
there's no more remembrance.
Yeah. Kind of says,
I get it.
Sheesh. Baba Kasha.
This is Sirach 11. It's like 21 or 25. One of those. It's 25. Yep. It says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, right?
Okay.
It's like, we living it up. 7 years, right?
Yep.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Yeah, because everything is good when you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but when you take away that luxury of doing so, hey, then you don't even think about the food that you ate, however many moments ago, man.
Yeah, when things is going good, man, I'm eating good. I'm just saying about myself. I eat, and I'm like, damn, that was good. Then I'm like, damn, that was good. I forgot what I had last week because everything been good. But when I'm hungry and I ain't got it, man, I'll be like, man, I should have threw away that little chunk of.
Bro.
I remember every morsel that I didn't eat,
Hey, it's a famine coming, bro.
It's why I came with that phrase, bro.
God.
It's a famine coming, man.
Famine coming, man.
You're going to need that.
Yeah, just also, like, when you fast, man.
Yeah.
Everything tastes good after a fast.
Yeah.
When you eat something super bitter, it tastes sweet after a fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine when you're forced to. Hey, even Apostle Paul said it, and fasting's oft.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not because, he just chose to fast. That's because, the Lord made it to where food wasn't available.
Yep. It was good because it kept him in a more spiritual state anyway.
Okay.
Let me go back to Genesis. Back in Genesis 41, I think I was around, at the end of that, so I'm going to go down to the 30s now.
Okay.
For 34, it says, let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years.
Yeah, basically saying stock forth,
Yep.
And basically build like a storehouse of treasury of food.
We're going to eat off the 4 parts, and then that 5th part, we're going to store it up.
Exactly.
Yep. To sustain us for the time being.
Yeah.
But, for the immediate time, but then we're going to hold on to that 5th part, right?
Yeah, he was basically prepping.
Yep, exactly what he was doing. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
Mm-hmm.
And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine. And that's why they ate them up in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming into that, man. You got to understand. You think that all that PPP and what was that, stimulus money?
Right.
That Trump was giving out, them few years back, you think that ain't got something to do with the plenteous years of this?
Right.
While you still have a job and we can see the squeeze beginning. And like I was telling the brother before we cut the camera on, you better hope that this is part of the famine years, and that this ain't part of the end of the plenteous years. This might be the end of the plenteous years.
Hey, we know it is,
Yep.
This is part of the birth pains, man.
Yep.
Hey, y'all gotta feel this, man. It's what's the word? Inevitable.
Yep.
Right? I got a precept too.
Yep.
This is Ezekiel 4.
Oh, yeah.
And it started verse 7. Yeah.
Yep.
You want to read it? You want to read?
You got it.
This is Ezekiel 4 and 7. It says, therefore, thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it.
Yep.
And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another, till thou hast ended the days of thy siege.
Yep. The siege is coming, man.
God. Yep.
We're being slowly captured and encapsulated by technology. There's all types of by things we gotta do. With our time, we don't just get to just lounge and just do whatever. Nah, man, you gotta stay on business.
Yeah.
If you was getting money off the government, hey, he's cutting that.
Yeah.
Even if you're elderly, you ain't gonna get to chill in your old age. Trump ain't with that. He's cutting everything. If you just living in HUD homes or Section 8 and all, cutting all that.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to work, bro. You'd be surprised who you see at the gas working at the gas station. Is a great place to know where the economy in the world is at.
Mm-hmm.
Who's working in the gas station? I saw Judah in the gas station earlier. a lady Judite that looked like she, that's bad I judged her that way, but looked like she'd be at the home, on Section 8 watching, fucking Judge Judy or some shit, or Maury, right, okay. In the middle of the day. This chick was at the gas station working. Now, I don't know her, I'm just simply saying. The other part is, when Trump did it the last time, and he didn't do it as hard as he's about to do this, the last time, I saw elderly white people at the gas station. They're like, in the middle of the night, like, what are you doing at the graveyard shift?
Right.
They gonna rob you in here.
You don't have no choice.
But hey, I gotta work. So we went from the teenager white kid to just this is a weekend job. Nah, this is some real. I gotta earn a living. Mm-hmm. All right, you got it.
This is verse 9. It says, "Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentil and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel."
So you gonna put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You're gonna put your foot in it. You're gonna throw a little seasoning on it, and you're gonna make it like a gumbo, man. Make it in there, and just try to make it stretch. You're gonna make what they call it in jail, spread.
Yeah, spread.
You're gonna make spread. You gonna just so you get full.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna eat you ain't gonna be comfortable eating. Just get all the meat and beans and rice and just everything I want, and mac and cheese and man. It's too many ingredients.
Yeah, it's gonna be a smorgasbord of whatever you got there. Yep, if it's only flour and water, hey, you only gonna have flour and water. You may not even be able to cook it.
Yep.
It says, "And put them in one vessel and make the bread."
They gonna eat paste, bro. Jay gonna eat paste.
Yeah. If Jay got animals, they gonna eat their dog food.
Yep.
It says, "And put them in one vessel, and make the bread thereof according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side."
You want to divide it up and portion it out even. You want to have scraps of food, putting it together to make a meal. It was funny. I already used to that at the house. We already, Jaking it up, man. I ain't about to waste this quarter leg of chicken that is 3 days old. I'm about to throw that in a pot, make some soup or something out of that. Throw last 2 nights ago corn in there from whatever else, and the rice from whatever else. We're going to make a meal out of this.
Yeah.
Stretch it.
Jake turned everything into a sandwich or in a tortilla.
Yeah, man, or a soup. Jake turned everything into a soup or a sandwich, or a burrito or something. Wrap it up.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay. It says, "And thou shalt lie." It's like it. "According to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side, 390 days shalt thou eat thereof."
You're going to be down, man.
Bro.
Yep.
"And thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight." And we know in the times that we're coming into, hey, Jake don't know how to smoke no meat, in terms of preserving it for beef jerky sense. Yep. So it's not, and all these plagues are gonna hit at one time, man. So when the famine hits, hey, Esau gonna cut off the power too. So your fridge, all them meats, the big ass deep freezer that grandma got, all that stuff is gonna spoil. You ain't gonna have time to cook it all, cause that take gas, right? And if he shut that off, which or electricity, so that means it's gonna be shut off too. Jake don't know how to make no fire, So all that food is gonna spoil.
Gonna blow up trying to make fire, bro.
Yeah, that's real.
A lot of people gonna get burnt up and burned to death, man. Trying to make fire in the house.
Yeah, in the house. Stupid. It says, "And thy weight which thou shalt eat shall be." It's like, "In thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight. 20 shekels a day, from time to time shalt thou eat it."
You can't eat at certain hours. You gotta ration this out. You gotta portion it out.
Yeah. 11. "Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of an hin."
You can have a swig.
Yeah.
You get a swig a day.
You get
just
a cap
to wet
full.
your whistle.
Yeah.
Get a cap full. You get a cap full. She get a cap full. He get a cap full. Hey, man, don't be sucking the last little drops at the bottom of the cap.
Yeah.
Like Jake, man, you seen the movie This Is the End?
Yeah.
It's a comedic version of the end time movies, but
yeah,
they was locked in the house, man. All the food and water was in the basement. They couldn't go outside because there was a demon out there killing people, whatever. But they started getting desperate. They start turning on each other. That's why I said the love of many shall wax cold, and brothers gonna turn on one another.
Yeah, because you gotta understand too. All these things are gonna stop at an instant, man.
You're gonna go from having slushies to not having water.
Jake is already on some type of
not having faucet water. My bad.
Jake is already, into pharmaceuticals, taking those daily, or some type of weed or drug.
Yep, drink.
That's gonna stop. So the demons that you aren't able to manage, those are going to be a rampant. And then Jake don't know how to fight off the demons because they haven't been rehearsing You know, how to call upon the names of Yahweh Shema Shai and when things are good. You know, so these demons are going to be fighting against the other demons in the house. The love, like you said, the love of many waxing cold. People are going, allow it to be a bag of chips in that day. That person who has that bag of chips, they ain't about to tell nobody about it. And if the other family member find out that they had it, they're gonna off them, man.
And they did that in the movie.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that dude ate all the food.
Yeah, on one day, and then the other one was hiding the Snickers. Man.
Yep. Kind.
Hey, it's that real. You said it, man. And this is the seven plenteous, where the wise version of filling up the oil.
Yeah.
This is that time. And then when that time came and you don't have the oil, you ain't gonna be able to go where the storehouse at. This is when you're supposed to be storing up the oil, up the wisdom, up the practice, up the rehearsal of calling on the name and rehearsing and having something, as brothers will say, in your spiritual bank account to fight as a defense for you in that day.
Kind, man.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, works. Through faith. That Isaiah 33:6, man.
That's right. We got to get it.
Yep.
That's perfect. I'll get it right quick.
Okay.
That's perfect. And then we can hit it like one or so more. Know, into that, and then we can move on and close it out. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So that's going to be the treasure in that day. They're having the fear of the Lord in this rehearsal that you didn't waste the time. You didn't scoff. You didn't, what's the other thing? You
scorn.
You were scorning the prophets, wasting, fanning the hand at them, mocking. And that's why I said we're going to mock when your fear cometh in the day of your desolation.
Kind.
And it come up as a whirlwind.
Yeah, and that word right there, stability, is the word amawan, which goes into faith, man.
Yeah.
Right? So it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability, the faith of thy times, right?
Yep.
And the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. And ultimately, if you haven't built up, your faith, man, then there's no way you're going to withstand these evil days to come. Yep. Because a lot of Jacob are going to allow that patience, they're not going to have the patience, to endure the suffering, you know? Because that's what it takes. That's the scripture saying, let patience have her perfect work, man. Right. Because, you're not on your time, when all this hell break loose, man. You're on the Lord's time, and if he don't want something to move in his time, guess what? It's not going to move.
That's right.
And for the 2/3, things just aren't going to line up. But for the elect, he's going to make sure these tokens, or those these bones, so to speak, are given unto his men, because he knows that they need to survive.
And here's the difference. It ain't that we ain't gonna have times of headaches,
right,
and like literal headaches from not eating and thirst to the edge of thirst. But then the next day we gonna wander upon some, or somebody gonna provide something somehow. When it ain't coming for you, Jake. Yeah, it ain't gonna come for you or your kids, man.
But the Lord is gonna bring forth miracles.
Because the day before, you decided we gonna kill a little baby, we gonna eat him up and drink his blood, and we gonna be satisfied. Exactly,
because that's gonna come too. Cannibalism, man.
Yep.
Just like it did back in the ancient days, man, when we go into the book of Kings.
That's right.
So, no miracles are going to be done on behalf of the 2/3, man. Mm-hmm. And it's due to the fact that you scoffed. And that's what Elder Manasseh Zakba, through the Spirit, he's been doing like lessons every day on just niggas scoffing, man.
Yep.
You niggas are going to eat your family members. It sounds like it's way, way out. But you'll see. You'll see soon, man. Keep it up. By every word, for every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned, man. So, you're going to see real soon, Jake. Everything is a game until it ain't. Mm-hmm. Right?
I'm back in, you got something?
That was it right there.
I got Genesis 41 again. It's the last little bit. I'm going to start at 52, though. In the name of the second called he Ephraim, as we're talking about the kids. Mm. Anyway, of his affliction was going on. But anyway, so 53, it says, and the 7 years of plenteousness was that in the land of Egypt were ended.
Yeah.
The 7 years of dearth began to come, according to as Joseph had said, and the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
Yeah, due to the preparation. And we take this in a spiritual sense of us doing the same.
That's right.
We're spiritually prepping for the times at hand, man. Because guess what? It don't matter how much money you got. If a brother don't have a particular amount of money to store up or buy extra groceries because we know what's coming, guess what? Does that mean that the Lord won't defend him? No, that does not mean that. Of course the Lord is going to defend that man, man.
That means the Lord has a higher level of faith given to that man.
Yeah.
That he going to make it and he going to be all right and it's going to be justified. He may even pass it on to a brother that's dear unto him to make sure that that gets extended out to him.
Mm-hmm.
That he's covered as well. And we've seen that. That's why they're going to know the difference of the men of the Lord by the love we have for one another. The way we share things, the way we sacrifice for our own good, for the next, so on and so forth, right?
Yep.
55 says, and when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph, what he said to you, do.
Mm-hmm.
The famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all the lands. And so they had it.
Yeah.
They had enough to feed everybody that came down. Hey, break bread. Come. And that's how they waxed rich.
Okay.
And so and I was just thinking about when they left out during the time of the Exodus, when they Yahweh them for the riches.
Okay.
Hey, because they helped you build up your riches through an Israelite.
Okay.
Through Joseph.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, that's the point, man. You know, we understand that all this has to come to pass, because the end is nigh. And ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shai is bringing forth a translation of kingdoms, man. As the scripture says in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Yep.
Also understanding, as the scripture says in the book of Daniel, we're at the toes of the miry clay, man. Mm-hmm. So this is the last empire in which we're ever going to be servants in. So the Lord is going to make sure that Jake gets that last ass whooping, man.
Yep.
You know, to the point where we never going to go off again as a people. But the 2/3 are going to be casualties by the scourges of Yahweh Shema Shai, while the elect and the 1/3 are going to be provided for. Don't worry about food and water, man. That's but a little work unto the Lord to provide in the time of famine, man.
Beautiful.
You know?
You made me think of two of them.
Okay.
There was one in Sirach 11. I think it's like 27, something like that. It was an easy thing. Yeah, 26.
To reward a man.
25, yep. We read it, right?
Okay.
It says, in the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways.
Yeah.
So he can bless you in that same moment.
Okay.
If you've been good, but if you haven't, and I think it said it, another blessings, 21, marvel not at the work of sinners, but trust in the Lord Yahweh and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
Yeah.
The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Ooh. So your faith is going to be rewarded.
Okay.
That's why you got to trust in it. But this leads me to the last scripture I had in Matthew 6.
Okay.
At the end, 6 and 30, maybe 31. Let me get it. Yep, it says.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to 31. I'll read 30.
Yeah. 30.
Wherefore, if the most, you can break it down if you want.
Come.
Wherefore, if the Most High so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, burned up and destroyed, right?
Yep.
Shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?
Right. The Most High makes sure that even the creatures and the creations has their substance in order to endure the hardness, man. Mm-hmm. Right? That's basically what it's saying.
Yep. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? Mm-hmm. For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. And that's talking about the heathen Gentiles.
Yeah,
because they don't have a God to call on for these things.
Yeah, and they weren't given the gift of faith.
That's right. It says, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's plain.
Yeah.
The Lord is basically saying, focus on what I need you and what I told you to do.
Yep.
And I'm going to cover everything else, man. So our job is to preach, to prophesy, to believe, and to walk to the best of our ability in the law, statutes, and commandments, man. You know, show forth charity amongst your brethren. Pray, fast, do what's necessary in order for you to flourish in the spirit, man.
Read, be charitable. Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a quick analogy about when I read it. It made me think of if you was the last person that joined the army, you know, like the military, the U.S. military, I'm saying, and was concerned about eating, where they gonna eat and where they gonna sleep.
Right.
Those come with what you're doing. That's the same thing in this.
Yeah, food and board.
Food and board you're gonna get that for sure. You're gonna earn it, but it's the same thing in this.
Yeah.
You're gonna earn it. What you get from the Lord, but you gotta earn it. And hey, what better thing can you do? Because He's gonna be plenteous for you. But you're gonna go through a season, but it's gonna be plenteous when He does start to share His blessing with you.
Okay.
That was the point. I can read 34.
Okay.
Close. It says, take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Don't be worried and bogged down. But what about tomorrow? What about the day after? What are we going to do? Don't worry about it, man. Just worry about getting through the day.
That's the same spirit Jake had in the wilderness.
Yep.
You know, the Lord told him not to collect.
Yep.
You know, not to collect the manna on certain days. Just eat it for now.
Yep. The Sabbath told him double up on the Sabbath, and that's it.
Kind. Hey, but you seen the spirit of Jake. Those were ultimately the faithless. That's why Jake was killed off in the wilderness, man. You know. Hey, so our spirit should be geared towards a prosperity in the spirit, man. Understanding that the Lord is going to take care of everything that we need. Do we know exactly how it's going to go down in terms of where you'll be? No. But we do know what we do know, which is what? We understand that we have the oil within us, and that the Lord is going to cover every base in which we're unsure of, man.
That's right.
You know? And that's the point. You know, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. We want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. A double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.
Shalom.